Previously on the Poppin' Mags Pinecast. Where is Lance? I want answers.
Where is Lance? I don't know Lance. I know Clyde. But I don't know where Clyde is. Don't ask me. I did one episode, never heard from him again. I don't know anything. Don't ask me. I know nothing.
Magnum, the mayor's office is breathing down my neck. They've had it with your renegade ways. Hand in your gun and badge. You're suspended 2 weeks with pay.
Popper, you got my back on this, right?
Sorry, man. I got a wife and kids to think about. I gotta sit this one out.
Utah, give me 2.
Magnum, don't leave me. You're the greatest lover I've ever known. Probably the greatest lover of a generation. Please don't abandon me in this hydroelectric plant.
Frankly, Scarlett, I don't give a damn. Poppin' Mags starts right now.
There Will Be Blood has become one of those films that it just like eases me into this space of just bliss. I don't know what it is. It's just like, okay, I'm in my element. I don't care really what happened earlier in the day. I'm in my space. And it's glorious.
I do love that movie. Popper, you've seen that, right?
I haven't, and I'm gonna have to. I know. I looked it up. I was like, man, what? I don't remember this.
And then
Daniel Day-Lewis. Yeah.
I mean, it's got milkshakes and it's got bowling. You're gonna love it. It's great.
Oh, wow. Jeez. That's a good lead-in. Oh, my God. Milkshakes and bowling.
This week episode is brought to you by None of Secret Supply of Sauce, the best sauce known to mankind and available on shelf anywhere. Even when the freezer is full of sauce, there is still no sauce for you. You want some Nona sauce? Too bad, only Nona decides who gets the sauce.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Season 4, Episode 11 of the twice-over Zilly Award-winning Poppin' Mags Pinecast. Mags, how's it going over there?
Doing great, man, because, you heard about the big partnership, right?
Big news.
That Theta announced. But a lot of spinning up, and then turns out it's they're using AWS as a, they're using them as a service. I think I said something like, well, yeah, we're also partnering with Taco Bell and Charmin.
You want that 2-for-1 special for sure if you're going there.
I mean, once again, the buck doesn't stop with the CEO. I don't know how to help. I don't know how to help this company any further. But the buck does stop with the CEO, and when they keep screwing up announcements, and it wasn't even an announcement, we're just making shit up. That's, unlike us, where I did have Taco Bell and used Charmin afterwards.
There you go.
But
Breaking
you didn't see
news.
me make a huge announcement about it.
Yeah, I mean, why does it always have to be the spin-off of a well-known company that has 2,000 followers when the main company has, millions?
Right. Yeah. And then I saw something too, and it was like, oh, but look at this one that this like AWS AI or whatever talked about, or it might have been the AWS, but it was something like, oh, Theta saved 20% by like using our service. What does that have to do with anything? Good, they saved 20% because they're using your service, but that has nothing to do with the price of tea in China, right?
Yeah, guess what? I save 15% on my car insurance too. I called Geico.
Yeah. But I mean, like the amount of I don't know what would you call that? Like they just think everyone's stupid. But
It's one of those things where it's like, okay, is there really something else behind the curtain? Like, is this, you know what I mean? It's like not like this. In and of itself, it's like, oh yeah, we're partnered with AWS, but we're partnered with them because we're actually using their services.
Yeah.
But it's like we're supposed to think that that's good because now it leads to other things. But where is that written? Like how do we know that that's true?
we don't.
So we just keep searching for reasons to be hopeful, it seems. And it's like we're never just slapped in the face with like, bang, there's the big one.
Right. They're using AWS.
But it's coming.
Right.
2 weeks.
Right. But then and then I thought there was some comment about like, "Oh, hey, but that doesn't mean something big isn't coming." And that's after fighting with this individual or individuals on the X saying that it wasn't a big deal. So, because
That person's right.
there's already people that are working with them that are actually listed because they're in the you couldn't even find
Right.
you can't even find the Edge Cloud in or Theta anything in
And what was
the
that website?
AWS.
That was like a very strange website that was set up.
But there's other people that have been there for years that are actually partnered with them because they're actually listed in there. And then you have Theta trying to think everyone's stupid, but I guess
Well,
we are.
whoever said that is absolutely right. It doesn't mean that there's not something big planned, but what does it mean, right? I don't need to know what it doesn't mean.
Hey,
What does it mean?
we've been around long enough. I know I've mentioned before, and maybe some old timers might remember this, but Ripple, back in the day, like we couldn't even buy it, but it was like 21. It would never get past 21 cents, and
Yeah.
I thought it was garbage. I mean, it's better than I thought. I mean, obviously, I wish I had a fat stack of that, but I do have the 19.999 stuck on a ledger somewhere. I'm sure you do too.
I do. Yeah.
Oh, hey, Ripple is partnering with this was like the nonsense back then. It was like, oh, Ripple's partnering. You don't know anything. Ripple's partnering with Western Union.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I remember them.
they're partnering with Western Union, and actually, it had nothing to do with the tech. So, I don't know. I mean, in Western Union, man, that's the way you want to get stuff settled across boundaries.
Yeah.
But
Western
but
Union was a great service when it was needed, but now
in the 1800s, yeah.
what good is it? I mean, even
No,
10
it's
years
still.
ago,
I'm
20
sure
years
it's
ago.
still good.
Yeah, but it's not as good as crypto could be, right? It's just bang, there's the money.
Yeah, but it's like Western Union. The last I prominently saw Western Union was in that it was like a planes, trains, and automobiles like stolen remake, but not really with like Galifianakis,
Mm,
Galifianakis, and
yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. He was trying to get to the hospital for his wife's kid. So it was kind of like I mean, so it was funny. I saw Planes, Trains, and Automobiles a million times, and it's much funnier. But it's like the same movie, but there was a scene with Western Union in there where he gave his acting name, his stage name as and that's not what was on his license. So it was a whole thing.
All
But
right.
yeah. Anyways, yeah.
Well, speaking of movies,
Oh, did I set you up for that?
I don't think it was intentional.
Oh, bullshit. It was very intentional. Just you kind of ruined it, but go ahead.
No, it's all
I was
good.
trying to set you up.
I appreciate that. Yeah. So speaking of movies, we had I guess I would call him a connoisseur of movies of some sorts, right? Indie movies, specifically.
I think he likes all sorts of flicks.
Does
The
sound
kids
like
call
it.
them. Yeah.
Now, what's his official title, though? Do we know his official title?
Director of Communications.
Director of Communications. All right. So we had the pleasure of having the Director of Communications of Decentralized Pictures, a legitimate 501c3, to come and talk with us for some reason. And you'll get to hear more about that.
After these messages.
Papa's popping and locking, Magnum scrutinizing. Papa Mac's podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome back, and thank you, Matt from Decentralized Pictures, for joining us. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on the show, guys.
Absolutely. Great to have you. And as Mags would say,
It's great to be had.
that's right.
Yep. So Matt, a lot going on. I mean, so just real quick, some of our listeners are pretty familiar. We have one buddy who we check in with a bit, right, Popper? Jason Dorks.
Yeah,
name
he's
is?
he's a friend of the podcast.
He keeps us abreast of what's going on in the film industry, and there was quite the thing with David Bianchi, and just ton of memes that were just fire. Even if people didn't know what was going on, a lot of people like us really enjoyed that. But we are a little bit familiar with you guys. We've voted on DCP, Decentralized Pictures, for different projects.
Yep.
Some of the people we voted for kind of went a different direction with their life because they're a little weird. That's fine. That happens. But so I don't know. I don't know where you want to start. Actually, I'll just let you start.
Yeah. Well, before we leave, Jason Dortz, I swore it was Jason Voorhees. I mean, I think if this is the same guy I'm thinking about, he's always like busting through doors and he's got a machete and a hockey mask on. So it's kind of terrifying when that guy shows up on social media.
Yeah, you don't want to be on the other side of him. For sure.
No, absolutely not. I want to keep that guy on my good side. So
Yeah, he's on
yeah.
our team.
Yeah, so we are Decentralized Pictures, and it sounds like some of your following is already aware of kind of who we are and what we're about, but I'll back up for any new listeners. So we exist. We're a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and we are here to discover new and innovative filmmaking talent. Going back to our origins, one of our co-founders is American Zoetrope, founded all the way back in 1969 by George Lucas and Francis Ford Coppola, names that I think most people are very, very familiar with. So obviously we haven't been around since 1969, but we like to think that we carry forward some of the same ethos as American Zoetrope, and that is celebrating independent film and giving voices to independent creators. So what we do in summary, I'm sure we'll go down some of these rabbit holes of all the ins and outs of DCP, but we create financing awards on the platform. These financing awards are created by individuals, organizations to provide new funding opportunities for new voices to be discovered, and also mentoring opportunities. So some of the folks that we've partnered with that we can talk about further later, provide great mentorship opportunities for some of these filmmakers if they're selected. And these filmmakers are selected by the community. We've built a democratic process within the platform. We're trying to transform an industry that is traditionally very centralized, where there's a lot of gatekeepers in place. And myself being an independent filmmaker in a past life, I kind of gave up on it because I couldn't figure it out. I mean, it was just like, okay, make this film, spend all this money, take up all this time, think I make a decent product, go to a couple film festivals, and then that's the end of the road. So what other opportunities out there exist to push these projects and these filmmakers forward and on to bigger and greater things? So we're trying to do that at Decentralized Pictures. So but we're very much about leaning on the community to help decide who is most deserving of these financing awards.
Isn't there a current award right now where you're trying to fill the spot?
Yeah. So there's a couple out there. We're a little light on the awards. Of course, there'll be some more awards that pop up on the platform here very soon. But right now, we have a filmmaker assistance grant. We've had, I think we're on like number 6 right now, and so we've had, and that's kind of a fun award where essentially that funding, people submit materials based on the criteria that's identified on the award, and then essentially that money, it can be used for anything, and we hope that it's used to support the artist's creative endeavors, whatever they're working on. But they really can use it for anything. Yeah, it's been renamed. So it used to be, I think it was the Screenwriter Assistance Grant, something like that. And so we switched it over to the Filmmaker Assistance Award. And at its origin, it was really just to help a screenwriter like focus on writing, and whatever that means, whether that means, okay, I need to, buy a new piece of software, or I need to pay my rent that month, and I need to focus on my writing so I can't work my job, my part-time job. So that kind of helps supplement the income for that month to be able to focus on my art. So that one's out there. And we also have the Base Creators Award. And I'm sure we're going to talk about this as well. We've recently migrated to Base. And so that award was kind of created as a celebration to recognize that big event that's happened for Decentralized Pictures about bridging to the base chain. And so we created that, and we really welcome all creators for that award. That's not just reserved for filmmakers. We're welcoming any and all artists to submit to that award. So that's out there, and a big call to action right now. I just like, artists out there, NFT artists. You could be a musician, anything that you're into. That award is available to.
The question I had was, because I've been in and out of what's been going on over at DCP. So like Jason was talking about this $ film, like my hat says, and then so I was on there, and maybe I was wrong. I see it says talent on there on DCP. The credits, was that what it was before, or was that the film? Because you guys were on a different chain, migrated to base.
That's right.
So there's. I was trying to get spun up initially how that other one was going, and then all of a sudden you guys were on base, which I think must be easier for everyone else. But
Yeah, totally. So essentially that's part of the migration to base. So back in, I think it was 2022, this is before like all the layer 2 solutions came out, so these scaling solutions. And, this is back in the day where, if you have too much network activity on Ethereum, then like, the fees to process a transaction can be highly variable to such a point where, with our platform, we have multiple awards. We have people writing comments, making evaluations. So there's a lot of activity that's happening, and we wanted to have like good control over the cost that would be essentially the gas costs that would be associated for those transactions happening on chain. So at the time, the decision was made to build our own layer 1. Okay, and it was really a hard fork off of the Tezos chain, but it was our own layer 1. Managed it internally, and overall it supported our needs. It was a good chain for us, and at that time we had the film token that was associated with building on that chain, listed on a couple centralized exchanges. So that was available for a few years, and with the migration now moving over to base, and we can talk through some of the reasons why we migrated to base. But once we made that migration, we took it as an opportunity to kind of establish a new identity, kind of identify our, make a selection of a ticker that's more associated with the talent that we're trying to recruit and bring onto the platform. So while our focus definitely still is film and filmmaking, we wanted to recognize that there's a lot of talent out there on base chain, and that Coinbase is really, really targeting right now, is bringing more and more creatives on base, and we wanted to create something that was a little bit more aligned with their mission.
I saw, was it last week or the week before, the big base conference?
Base day 1. Yeah, new day 1.
Yeah. So who was on stage? Leo?
Yeah, so Leo Matchett, our CEO, and then Roman Coppola as well. Yeah, co-founder of DCP. Yeah. So they were on stage, and they showcased a few different projects up there, and Decentralized Pictures was one of them.
So I know a thing on base is they say base is for everyone. So we span a bunch of different like crypto communities. We're not exclusive anywhere really, right, Popper? Would you say that, Pop?
Yeah, we used to be more exclusive. Now we're a little of everything.
Yeah. So we have people in all different chains, but if different creators, is that something they can get on? Or are we too late to go to base and check out DCP?
Oh no, absolutely not. So at that event we actually deployed a new what it's all the rage right now is mini apps. So essentially, Base is about ready to come out with a new wallet, and they're calling it the Everything Wallet. It's in beta right now, but it's getting really close to being fully deployed. And there's going to be obviously with Coinbase, there's always been that trading component, being able to buy, trade, sell crypto and other currencies on there, stable coins and so forth. But they're also going to have like a social component on there. And you'll be able to have a chat feature, DM people on there as well. And then they're going to be focusing also on mini apps, integration of mini apps. And I don't even know all the mini apps are going to be deployed on there, but I know it's going to be robust. And so DCP at the new day 1 revealed our new mini app that we will have on on the base app, and it will also be on Farcaster as well. And it's called Review, REV with a capital U. And essentially, it's a really cool little app. You can actually go out there to Farcaster and play around with it. It's still kind of in beta as well. So it's going to be integrated with DCP Plus, which we'll talk about, I'm sure, later on in the conversation. But it's going to be a cool way for people to discover and review trailers. Okay, so there's going to be movie trailers on there, and then people can like discover them, especially like new independent films that they're not aware of, but they see the trailers like, oh, that kind of caught my eye. So I'm going to check that out and, click on it, watch the trailer. And then there's an opportunity for you to record yourself, like giving a review of that trailer. And then other people can like and, interact with your reviews, so it's a really cool interactive way to discover and then provide your input and insight on those trailers as well. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Will all that be happening in a Coinbase app or just a new?
Yeah, so it's going to be on the new base app. It's going to be deployed. Yeah,
Okay.
it's in beta right now. Yeah, so if you look, I don't even think you can download now the Coinbase wallet anymore in its old form. If you had the Coinbase wallet
Yeah.
on Android or iOS, you'll probably notice that the logo has changed. It's moved to like a square icon. I see you, Max, like checking it out right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, if right now, like I said, it's in beta. So if you click on the icon, it's probably just going to bring you into the normal app. It's going to have the normal features, but those features are going to be tremendously transformed here very shortly. So yes, it will be a base app, and then it will be also on the social app called Farcaster.
Okay. I know I mentioned to you earlier in the week. I've heard so much. I think I've told you this, but I've heard a lot about it. I've watched some stuff on YouTube. I've read some stuff. I've listened to Jesse Pollock, I think.
Yeah.
That isn't. Yeah. I'm still confused, but ZORA, right? Have you?
Yeah.
So that's like that's like a social. What's the best way to explain ZORA?
Yeah, so it's like this cool, it's definitely a social app, but it's the Coin Anything app. Okay, so you can go on there, and I mean, you could go take a picture of your cat or your dog, and then post it on Zora, and so essentially you're minting it on chain the moment you make a post on Zora. Okay. And then it like creates like a quantity level, like, if you created your own token on Base or Salon or any other chain, it creates like a quantity, a supply of that post. And this happens with every single post that goes on Zora. So any videos, any artwork, any photos, it's all coin. So it's all captured on chain. You can immediately, as soon as you upload it there, you can go like on chain and see how it's been coined and its quantity and so forth. So it's just like, and it's really, it's for non-techies really to use as well. You can just go out there and do it, and all of your content is on chain.
So you'd suggest like download it, play around with it, and see how it is, right? I mean, I guess
and
it must be easier to
gig,
experience it.
you
Yourself.
got to go out there. Yeah, you got to go experience it yourself. And I guess like the goal here is like some of your posts kind of go viral, and because people can collect your posts and they pay, a small fee to collect, your post. Okay. So they're collecting some of your tokens that you've deployed that are attached to that post. And if it, catches, in the flywheel effect or whatever, and enough people start buying it, then okay, you can make money off of some of your content that you've posted on Zora. Yeah.
Does that make sense, Popper?
Yeah, it does. I was just reading through the website here. I didn't realize DCP was a nonprofit organization.
Yeah. So we are technically a 501c3. Yeah, we and kind of like that film fund that I was talking about. That's a film fund that we help manage. But yeah, all any profits that may be earned through the company go right back into the organization.
Huh.
Yeah, into the foundation rather.
Yeah, sorry to segue there to that. Caught me in the middle of reading this, but it's so this Zora sounds like people are paying to collect tweets. Basically, is that
Yeah. So I mean, so it's more of like content. So it's more like imagery, you know, videos, things,
Games.
art, things like that. So it's not really text like tweets,
Okay.
but it's really content that people have created.
So somebody creates content, posts it to a social, and
Yep.
you're basically paying to own that.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Just like the supply of anything, you know, that you buy, maybe just think of it kind of like a crypto token, you know, a token that you believe in. You know, you buy a piece of that token. You know, every token has a certain supply.
Mhm.
I guess there could be an inflation mechanism attached where, you know, some supplies, you know, but a lot of them have max supplies that are identified, and you're essentially investing kind of in that token. And so the same thing applies with the Zora content. You're kind of investing in that creatives content that they posted on the site. Yeah.
And there's a maximum number that can be purchased.
Yeah. Yeah. So whenever you mint your content on Zora, whenever you go out there and create it, I forget it. It's a fairly large supply. But yeah, it gives you a max supply of like, okay, you're going to mint this, you know, amount for this picture or this video. And then from that quantity, people can start purchasing it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The future.
Yeah. No, that's interesting.
No, just like our show, we're usually late with all the news anyway, so I'm sure a lot of people are.
Like a newspaper.
Well, yeah, we're like for the old people, right?
Yeah.
For the boomers in crypto, maybe. We don't like to get at stuff when it comes out. We like to be a couple months late or so. So
Yeah.
Well, that's great. By the time you show up, you know, all the bugs have been worked out, and it actually works and it's clean, you know?
Yeah, that's why we do it. Yeah.
exactly, smart.
So let's talk a little bit about the migration to base. What chain were you on previously? Was it Ethereum?
No.
So
Tezos,
yeah,
it was from, right?
Yeah, so we were our own layer one. So we created our own chain, and it was a hard fork. So essentially used, you know, the code from Tezos, you know, to kind of create our own chain, our own layer one.
That Tezos, that was like I forget what. I think I've heard of that one before.
Oh, you thinking like your ticker?
Tezos.
No, you've got me spacing. Oh, XTZ.
XTZ, that's right.
Yeah.
I owned some of that for a minute. That was one of the ones that was on my radar at some point in the last 8 years.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I own some Tesla, and it was a good chain. I mean, you know, I don't know if Leo was on the show right now. He may have some other comments, but I think overall that I think it was, and you know, no fault to them. I mean, we decided to run our own layer one. But going back to it, it made the most logical sense because of the variability in the gas costs. You know, building on Ethereum for a smaller organization could be a really high risk venture because the gas costs could bankrupt an organization, especially if you scale really quickly and you've got this flurry of activity and it's costing you, I don't know, $7 or $8 per transaction. I mean, every single transaction that's minted on chain, I mean, that could add up like very quickly. And it's not so much of a problem now on Ethereum. I mean, those gas costs have come down tremendously, even when there's high network activity.
They're getting high again, though. They're getting high.
Are they
again.
really?
So with POG Digital, I'm sure you've heard of those guys, right?
Sure, absolutely.
So they've been doing some things. They've been getting into Ape Chain, and so I didn't really know much about Ape Chain, and I went onto the Coinbase like a boomer, and then I bought some Ape, which is their coin, and I was like, oh, let me purchase. You know, they're like blend-in communities because POG doesn't like to stay in one place. You know, they want to reach out to as many people as you can. So they were doing stuff with Base, so I was kind of getting interested in it. I was like, oh, let me buy some Base NFTs. And so I purchased the Ape, but then the Ape you can purchase on Coinbase proper is Ethereum Ape. And so you have to bridge it over to Ape, which sounds funny. And
I think there was a cartoon whenever I was a kid called Grape Ape.
Grape
It
Ape,
was a
Grape Ape, Grape Ape.
Grape Ape, Grape Ape,
Yep,
Grape
that
Ape.
was one of yep.
It was I think it was pretty low budget, man. I think I remember my father walking in while I was watching. He's like, "You really like this, son?" I mean, yeah. It's like, "Yeah, I do." He's like, all he says is "Grape Ape." I mean, this is awful.
I
Surely you can do better.
I love all those old Hanna-Barbera cartoons, and then they're I don't know if you've seen it or yeah, I guess you're kind of like Pop are into what your kids are into, but they have it's more adult, I think, but they have a new like Hanna-Barbera cartoon show. I think it's on HBO or HBO Max or whatever the heck they're calling it now. But it's pretty funny because it brings some of your characters. Like I love Magilla Gorilla. That was like my favorite Hanna-Barbera cartoon back then. But so I figured I had to bridge it over. I was like, cool. And then I was buying stuff. Well, then the market's picked up within the last I don't know month and a half, 2 months or so, whatever. And so I wanted to go buy some of these ape droids. They're called, and they were doing this thing. So I was like, oh, they have a cool ninja one cheap. I'm gonna go buy it. And then so I do the swipe on Coinbase, and I get it, and then I send it over. But it was like $22 to convert the ape coin.
Dang.
So I was like, oh, I remember these days. I mean, it can get
Yeah.
much higher, but and that's the good thing with base. It's a lot cheaper once you have that established already. Once you have your base coins, I guess. But I don't.
Yeah.
The ETH stuff is
Exactly.
just so expensive.
Oh, I know, and so, like, a real quick summary, and I don't wanna get too far out of my lane because I'm director of comms, I'm not we do have a blockchain guy on staff, and just the stuff that he talks about, I can't track half of it, um, but essentially, we went from being on our own layer 1 to building on a layer 2 base, but we're actually our own app chain, so we built an app chain, which is essentially a layer 3. Okay, so we have our own chain that really operates, and all transactions that occur on our chain settle on base. So we've gone from layer 1 all the way up to a layer 3 to operate our enterprise. But luckily, we've gotten out of the game of having to manage doing chain management. And I know that did take up a lot of resources and time. And now we just lean on the wonderful people at base to make sure things are running smoothly, and so that I guess provides some bandwidth to the team that didn't previously exist.
I think I think I was in your Discord, and I think I was looking at it's pretty active, and I was looking at like trying to set my own stuff. Like I was just kind of confused because I get confused very easily. So I was like, I was like, yeah, let's wait and see about this. And I guess I'm glad I did. This is a dumb question. I should know this, but I'm not having you push anything. But like, can you purchase the coin?
Oh, talent?
Talent, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're currently listed. So you can actually use your Coinbase wallet. I mean, we're listed on Base. We are a Base token, so you can exchange. You can convert from one Base token to another Base token on the wallet itself, on the Coinbase wallet. So you can get the talent that way. We're also listed on a couple centralized exchanges. We're on BitTrue and Bitmart, and hopefully more to come.
Okay, that's cool. So I can get that talent base.
Yeah, and so something else that made me nervous when we made this bridge is just like, oh my God, because and of course I'm not even, working with the tech team, and whenever I came over, I was recently hired on I've been affiliated with DCP for a few years now, but really just in an ambassador capacity. And I've just recently been hired on staff. And so, but this migration has been going on in the background for a tremendous amount of time. And I was just worried, like on the day of migration, like the technical activity that was happening in the background, and everybody just like, I know the listeners can't see me, but like crossing their fingers.
I can confirm.
Like, God, make this work, And then even on the token front too, because we created this migration guide and this interface where it's very simple. If you held your film tokens in your DCP app wallet, essentially just next time you log in after post migration, you just log in and it brings up this prompt. If we've migrated to base, follow these 3 simple steps to convert your film over to Talent. And amazingly, it worked. There was a couple little hiccups along the way, but it's really been very successful. And I mean, I think there was a few people that we had to troubleshoot with, but overall, it was a seamless process.
Yeah, I think because I went on and that's what I noticed is like I got that message about Talent and I was like, oh, what is this? But it eventually like took care of itself, and I
Right.
can see that because so like when you and I don't know if we talked about this, but basically like when you set up your DCP account and you want to vote for different projects, right?
hmm
You you don't have to, right? You can there's like 2 things you can do. One, you can like stake. Is it stake the talent for the project? And then there's another one too, right? At least I thought there was. But and then once the thing ends, it just comes back, or is it still staked?
Yeah, yeah. So we did play with these words a little bit back in the day. But essentially, yeah, you're absolutely correct. So there's a rewards pool that's established for every project, and and submitters can contribute to that awards pool, and that's essentially all the tokens that will be paid out. So essentially, as a reward and incentive to take the time to review my project. Okay. And then you can also, whenever you make a review on the platform, to add extra weight to your review, you can endorse it. Okay, so you can add tokens to like your review, like if you think that, oh yes, this film absolutely has got to be made, that this has got to be the winner. I'm going to put up this glowing review on how it's the best project I've ever seen. You can add to the weight of your
Right,
review by endorsing it with
right.
tokens.
And was there something I'm not trying to like quiz you on your own on the own platform. I'm just trying to
Sure.
remember from all the times that I haven't been voting on anything recently. I hope to with the base creators award. But was it that like the more you've been established and voting on DCP, like you're not just like a bot that or like you have more credibility or something. I think you know what I'm trying to say because he's got this smile, folks.
Right, right. No, it's just like any other, platform. You are building up a reputation. It's called a reputation
That's it.
score. And essentially, you can build up that score by just participating on the platform. If you're a creator and submitting projects, if you're a reviewer, going out there reviewing activity, we have daily quizzes out there that you can participate in and you
They're
can
hard.
earn.
They're freaking hard.
They're very hard. And I don't know how they do it because there's a timer. It's not
Yep.
like you can like press pause
Yep.
and go Google every question so that
Yep.
you get everything right. No, it times out. And there's some people that get like 99 out of
I
100.
I'm
Like,
amazed
what
because I
the
think I
hell?
was like maybe a little bit over 50 or 60 or something, and I was like looking at the top scores. I'm like, how the hell this thing was insane.
Right. I don't know, like, if these people just watch movies all day. I mean, since they've been born, because there's some old, like, questions on
Oh
there. It's not
yeah.
like it's, like, movies that have come out in the last 12 months. I mean, there's stuff from, like, the '70s and just,
Yep.
like, I don't know, I have no idea, and it's, like, kinda going down in the weeds of, who was the editor or whatever from this 1972 film, like, "Fuck, oh,"
Yep.
just like, "No way." So, but yeah, it's all based on activity on the platform. So yeah, more you participate, and we have creative queries out there that anybody can, and kind of the same deal. You can kind of create a rewards pool if you really want feedback out there. Actually, I just posted one out there. There's one live right now because I'm curious about what future awards people want to see. Because we've had awards centered around, narrative shorts, we've had documentaries, we've had screenplay, we had a horror filmmaking award. So it's kind of been awards for finishing funds with Steven Soderbergh. So it's been all over the place. But I'm just curious. I mean, I know what I like, but that may not be what the community wants. So I put out a creative query, just like, what kind of awards would you like to see in the future? And, put a rewards pool out there. Hopefully it was enough to incentivize people to take the time to make their vote. And then, we can pull that data, and there's a lot of, like demographic information that's captured in there. So we can see like ages and locations and where this data is coming from to kind of better understand what population is participating on the platform, and then what do they want to see going forward.
And we will be right back.
Papa Max, yeah. Papa Max. Papa Max Podcast. Papa Max Podcast.
Has there been like good news stories that you can tout from people that have won awards and developed their projects?
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, it sounds very cliche, but I really think like some of these awards, and I've had the privilege of interviewing these people because I'm still getting used to this, like being the guest on these shows, because I've been the host for DCP and asking all the questions.
It's completely different when you're on the other side. Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm like sweating over here trying to figure this out, man. But yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So case in point, so there's going to be a premiere for Kevin Smith, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, that Kevin Smith Dogma.
They did that re-release of Dogma this summer. I think it's been in like some other.
Yeah, I
like
saw that. I saw that.
And the damn, sorry, real quick. The only place I could watch that movie, because me and my brother loved that movie. We loved all the Kevin Smith movies, but it was YouTube. Was like the only place you could watch Dogma, because I guess there was this whole thing with the church and other stuff. So like it wasn't even like you couldn't even get it on DVD. It was just you couldn't get it anywhere, and that's why it's crazy that he like re-released it. But yeah, YouTube was the only place I was like on Reddit, like how the hell do I find? How can I watch Dogma? And it was right there on YouTube. So.
Yeah, it's whoever owns the rights and just distribution. It's a funny game. But yeah, so the winner for that, the filmmakers are from USC. They're actually in film school, Gabby and Isabella, and I had them on a podcast after they won, and just great young ladies, talented young ladies, and it's just like it provided this amazing opportunity that where else are you going to get this? Now I get to not only do I win, I think they won like $40,000 to produce their short, it was just a screenplay. It was a comedy screenplay. Now they have 40 grand to work with to help produce their short. And then guess what? Kevin Smith's going to help you out.
Oh, wow.
I mean, where can you get that? I mean, it's just like somebody who has seen all the ins and outs of Hollywood and what it takes to make a successful film and, delivering comedy lines. I mean, the guy's just seen it all. And these ladies now get to work with somebody like that, and and so what they're going to learn from that experience going forward is just going to probably accelerate that timeline, with moving forward in the industry. So they're gonna premiere this. It's called Holy Smokes, and it's gonna be at the Holly Shorts Film Festival, and it's in LA here in a couple weeks, and it's just so cool. And that was just announced just a few days ago. And it's awesome to see stories like that. And that's just one example, but we've had multiple where, it's really transformational, because I don't know where else this is happening, because the traditional system is so centralized. It's so difficult. Like, you may have made a great film, but you send it off to Universal Pictures. Good luck.
No,
over to one. Good luck.
I'd like to get that deal that guy, that director on, he was going to direct something for Netflix, and then they gave him this money, and then he invested in crypto, or he lost most of it. Then he invested the rest in crypto, and then he like blew up his money. And then Netflix was like, "Hey, where's the show?" And he goes, "Hey, I need more money." And then they were like suing each other, but he didn't develop anything. They just gave him a bunch of money up front, and then he put it in crypto and made a ton. But must be.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can get it, it's a good deal, I guess.
And I'm not here to knock the major studios. I mean, it's just like they have a model, and they've got a lot of data to work from, a model that works. And and whenever you're producing, you're putting millions of dollars into projects, you want to invest in a proven commodity. But what we're trying to do is, you got to start somewhere. You got to have those first breaks. And I really see that DCP is a great platform for providing that break that new emerging talent needs on the front end of their careers.
You mentioned or you teased it before, but uh, what was it? DCP Plus.
Yeah.
You want to tell us some about that?
Yeah, yeah. So that's the new big item. We've base migration's been successful. That was a huge technical undertaking. We're live on base. Things are cranking along. The network's working just fine. Okay, great, great. Well, on to the next big thing. So DCP Plus, and I'm sure you've seen it on many other streamers. Say it's all about the plus. We've got the Disney Plus, we got
Right.
the Paramount Plus. The pluses are everywhere. So why not?
Right.
Let's Decentralized Pictures. Let's have a plus too. Let's join the party.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, and I have this conversation with a lot of people. They're like, Matt, don't you think that space is a little saturated? I mean, it's just like, and how are you going to compete? I'm just like, okay, fair question, fair question. But all I know is whenever I go out to pick your streamer, Amazon, Netflix, all the pluses, I don't see a lot of independent content out there. I mean, if it's there, you got to know exactly where to go. You got to do some digging. It's not going to be like front and center on the screen. You're going to see a lot of like big studio films that are in your face.
Even the big studio stuff they can put on there, they don't. It's possible like they don't advertise it much and nobody hears about it, and then they cancel it. Just two things real quick. Like a few years ago,
Yeah.
Netflix had this show called Cowboy Bebop, and I watched it the night it came out, and it's based off this cartoon, this anime, and it was fantastic. And of course, they left on a cliffhanger. Cast was all excited about it, and then that same weekend, like while the cast is excited about it, they said they're not renewing it.
Gone. Yeah.
And then also Netflix, they had this show. Popper's just sick of me talking about it, but it was called Chaos with Jeff Goldblum and some other really talented people, where he was
Yep.
Zeus. The show was insane. It was just everything that I thought. I love Greek history too, and seeing it in the modern times is very interesting too. But man, I was like, so once I started telling people on this show, like, hey, you guys need to check this out. It was only out for like a couple months or so at that point, and then immediately I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to tell people to watch it, right, Popper? Then we call it getting Monday because we usually have everything done by Sunday, and then Monday thing came out that the show is canceled or Netflix is not continuing it
that
And
week.
that week. It was like the day, like we must have recorded Sunday. I edited Monday, and then I get the notification Monday or Tuesday morning or something that yeah, they're not renewing it
From Buddy Theta.
from Buddy.
Yeah,
Theta.
it's a brutal game, man. It's just it's tough. It's tough out there. And yeah, if you don't hit certain metrics, don't hit certain numbers, man, gone, cut, moving on.
It's a different game now with streaming and there used to be a few channels and now there's a lot more channels. Um, I I could be wrong. I felt like that one strike that they had, I don't know, with the writers in 2008 or 2000, whatever it was like there were so many good shows that got paused and never came back or weren't the same afterwards. And it's like they went to all these reality shows that it was like there's no production value. It's just they're whatever Kardashian or whatever they're showing. And it's like, I don't want to watch this crap, but what does the network care because they're getting those markups, you know? And then like when we were younger, right, Popper? Like, and you too, you're not that old, Matt, but
Not
like,
that young either.
yeah, same. But like, I remember it was at Jim Carrey. He put out 3 movies in 1 year, and it was like Ace Ventura, and it was like The Mask, and
Mask.
Dumb and Dumber. And he got paid eventually, but like he got nothing for that. But like nobody's
Right.
putting money into comedies anymore. It's all like these big budget action movies. Now it doesn't need to have it, but it's just like, well, if I'm into comedy, I just have to, it's really limited because no one wants to make a big budget comedy for anymore. So I don't know. Anyways,
Yeah.
I can't change that. I'm just a guy wearing a $ film hat, the non-porn one.
You
And,
look good. You
yeah.
look good, man.
I'm sorry. Please go on. Go on. Sorry.
We gotta get some new hats now, though. We gotta get some talent hats.
Yes.
So, yeah, we'll have to work on that. But what we're trying to do to differentiate ourselves is we will house some traditional studio content. So we are working with some of the big players like Sony, Warner Brothers, companies like that, because we understand that's majority of the content that's consumed but by the public. So we want to have some of that content available. So we're going to build out those catalogs. But in conjunction is we really want this to be the home for independent filmmakers to distribute their content. Okay. And we're not going to hide it. It's not going to be buried in our platform. It's going to be front and center. And so we want this to be the landing spot for independent filmmakers. And we're also building around like protections for like IP protection. We want to make sure that filmmakers that come to our platform that they retain ownership to their content. We're not claiming ownership to their content. They retain their IP. And then also we're really big on the rev share models where we're only going to charge filmmakers because it's a self-publishing system. So any independent filmmaker will be able to publish and distribute on the platform. And the only really fees associated with it are housing the content because, it get really expensive paying for the storage of like thousands of movies that are 2 hours long. And, that's just, as video, it eats up a lot of memory. So we're going to pass along a nominal fee just for storage of the content. But outside of that, any revenue that's generated from rentals, and we're exploring all the models, TVOD, SVOD, AVOD models for the platform. Any revenue that's generated, it's essentially all of it's going to be going back to the filmmakers. And then they'll be able to also create kind of like a cap table where they can segregate that revenue so that different individuals with the cast and crew can get paid a certain percentage based on the revenue that they receive. Okay. So, director receives this percentage, the editor receives this percentage, the DP receives this percentage, all the way down. So we're trying to bring more people like above the line.
Does any of that address some of that like that marketing stuff where, people might have like different slices of whatever the film, and then but it's after marketing, and marketing can be like crazy, and then by the time it's done, we spent everything on marketing, right?
I know. Exactly. Exactly. So we really are trying to, and it's tough. I mean, so I talked with a film festival today. We started talking about their submissions, and they get thousands of submissions to this film festival. And one of their questions that they have is, do you have distribution lined up? Any type of distribution for your film? And they said 90% of them, I think they said it's 90 or 95%, for sure 90% do not have any kind of distribution. Okay. So I really feel like that we're filling a real void that's in the space right now for a lot of, and from what I've seen coming through DCP, a lot of really talented filmmakers that deserve at least the opportunity to have a platform for people to watch their stuff and get paid fairly for it.
Right. No,
Is it free for them to like list their movies that they're making on DCP?
Yeah. So essentially, like I mentioned, I mean, the only cost that we're going to pass on to the creators is really just the storage, storage of the content. Yeah. So we really are trying to lower the barrier to entry, and we do that already, even with these financing awards that we have on the platform. I mean, I remember being in an independent film game and like these film festivals, like $30 to enter this one, $60 to enter this one. And just like before you know it, I'm just like, geez, I've spent like $1,000 just like trying to get my film in these film festivals. And you don't even know if you're accepted yet. Okay. And you could get no's from everybody, and you just spent $1,000 farming it out to all these festivals, which can be extremely, extremely frustrating. But right now with DCP, if your film fits the criteria, your submission fee is, I think the highest I've seen is like, I think we had one that was like $20, but normally it's like $5 or less to submit your film on the platform. And that's like equivalent in the talent token. So we really do try to remove the barriers to entry because we want people to submit their work, and we don't want, you've already expended probably a lot of money creating the content. I mean, creating a movie is expensive. It takes forever, and it's very expensive, especially anything that's quality. If you turn on any type of content and it looks good and it sounds good and you've got good acting, you spend a lot of money producing that. So we want to make sure the barrier to entry is low.
Matt, usually every week we don't always have guests. I know Popper loves when we have guests. I like when we have guests too, but we like to give the guests the opportunity to give the POG keyword phrase of the week. And it's something they do in the POG Hub, and they get like these points or points and packs where they can open prizes or points for the POG stuff and the leaderboard, whatever. So if you have a phrase, a word, bunch of letters, uppercase, lowercase, whatever you want.
Favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Oh,
Well,
geez. So it has to be one word?
No, it can be
No.
no. It can be a phrase. It can be a phrase because I saw "There Will Be Blood." You said that was
Ah,
your
Yeah.
you took
favorite.
it from me.
Oh, took it
Yeah.
from you. Yeah.
Well, that's why I said that.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry, Popper.
It was very
And
lead.
so how is this going to be purposed?
Oh, it's
Once I select a phrase?
so you know, a lot of people like us for whatever we talk about. Other people just like us because we give a weekly pod phrase, and they'll pretend to listen or maybe download the transcript to whatever they do. And then so they get the key phrase, and then they can go in the Pog Hub and then put the key phrase for the Papa Mags episode. So this one would be the Papa Mags episode with Matt from DCP. And they would be like, oh, they got all these points and packs, and you can win like prizes, but the points are important too in the Pog Hub. Not trying to bore you with this
I
stuff,
like it. No, I'm
but
being
it's
educated. This is cool.
yeah. So I mean, other than the because we have tens and tens of fans, literally, right, Popper? I think last time we looked,
At least 10.
at least 10, twos and threes. But some people they don't like us. They just like to get the key phrase. I don't like to make it easy for them. But anyways, essentially what I'm saying is like, what do you want the key phrase to be for the Pog Hub this week?
Let's just go with a simple word. Let's go with create.
Okay, capital
Create.
C or just all lowercase or all
All
capital? Okay, all right.
All
I like
capital
it.
case?
No,
Capital, okay, lowercase CREAT, capital E.
Ah,
Just
love
kidding.
okay. All lowercase, folks, because but
Our interns will be given a hard time.
we're given a hard time then on the YouTubes with that sometimes. It's not like, hey, you had a great show. I didn't hear what the hell it was. And
I gotta listen to this thing again.
I am. We are born the hell out of Matt. Matt, I am so sorry, but what happens is we have a lot of international listeners too. So like maybe
Yeah.
English isn't their first language, so we'll say something and they don't know what the heck we said. So if it wasn't spelled out, and Popper knows like I'm the worst speller in the world. So
Well, even if English is your first language, sometimes they don't understand us.
right. That's true. Sorry for the over explanation of that. It was,
I love it. No, it's good. It's good.
So There Will Be Blood
Yeah.
Yeah.
is your favorite movie. Great movie. I was always ticked because Daniel Day-Lewis is amazing, and it's like he wins all these Oscars and all these awards, whatever. And it's like, how can an English guy play these American characters so well, and we can't get American characters, to play these parts? But he's just that good.
It's just like one of those films. For whatever reason, like I've had like it could be a good day or a bad day, but it's just like whenever like okay, I can kind of like chill and like. And there's like certain movies. I'm sure you've got some of these too. Like, I mean, how many times have I seen Predator, and how many times have I seen, the original Terminator and Terminator 2? It's stupid, but there's like this like comfort that like like it's just like I can like sit in my chair or lay on the couch or whatever, and like I put on one of those films, and There Will Be Blood has become one of those films that it just like eases me into this space of just bliss. I
Yeah.
don't know what it is. It's just like, okay, I'm in my element. I don't care really what happened, earlier in the day. I'm in my space.
Right.
And it's glorious.
Yeah. I do love that movie. Popper, you've seen that, right?
I haven't, and I'm gonna have to. I know. I looked it up. I was like, man, what? I don't remember this.
And then
And Daniel Day-Lewis. Yeah.
I mean, it's got milkshakes and it's got bowling. You're gonna love it. It's great.
Oh,
wow.
Jeez. That's a good lead in. Oh my God.
Right?
Milkshakes and bowling. Yeah, that ending scene, man, you'd never forget it. You definitely never forget it after you watch it.
Yeah. Only because I sometimes will make stuff about myself but I'm humble enough to admit it a lot of times, right, Popper? Right?
Most of the time.
Most of the time. But my favorite is Inception. I don't know if you've ever seen that. I'm sure you have. But oh man, I can't get enough of that movie. I think the concept of like sleeping and actually getting stuff achieved is
Dream.
so cool. I wish I could. But also I think the plot's good. It's one of those ones that you have to watch a few times, and then I'll get to the part where, like, if it's on, I'll watch it like any time. But a lot of times I'll go to like my favorite part, which is like right when the second dream ends, before the third, before the fourth, because like everything just falls out of place there. And really enjoy like the scene with the dad in the vault, and then with Maul. It's just man, it's something. I'll probably watch that soon. But
And a shameless confession I have to make is totally embarrassing because the acting is not top notch. Van Damme movies.
Oh.
You know, so like Lionheart, Double Impact, Bloodsport, you know, all those kind of just martial arts films from the, I guess, mid 80s. I think it's kind of mid 80s. But yeah, I've probably seen each of those at least 20 times. It's crazy. It's another comfort thing, right? It's like put on a Van Damme movie, watch him kick some ass, and it's just like all is right with the world.
Did you ever see Dark City?
Dark City. No, I've seen Sin City.
Okay.
Never Dark City.
So Dark City is a movie. I believe it's called Dark City. It's like just real quick. Dark City, it's like this like noir movie it came out like a year before The Matrix, and after watching this, so I never saw it till like a couple years ago. It was on the Amazon, and it's like, oh man, this is just like The Matrix, but this came out before The Matrix. So did The Matrix, and they built this whole set, and it's all this. It's like always nighttime, and there's these buildings, and then the buildings change, and they built all this stuff, and it's stuff like they would never do anymore. But it was
like a guy pinned up against a clock, like the cover of it. I'm looking at it right now. It's got Jennifer Connelly, Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah, and that the jerk in that Heath Ledger movie when he was a Knight's Tale, that jerk Prince. That's the main character. I don't think his name is Jerk Prince, but yeah. But that is one that I never saw when I was younger. It was one of those where it's like, you know, you're like, sometimes you're endlessly scrolling and like, hey, what to watch? And it's like, oh, this kind of looks interesting. And yeah, it was definitely interesting.
Okay, well, I'll put it on. 1998. I really like 90s movies as well. So it was a good era. So I gotta watch it. Okay, I'll put it on my list.
Yeah, please let
Talk
me
me into it.
Please let me know thoughts on that. But yeah, we've talked about Popper's had to endure me listening to talk about City for a bit too sometimes. So
yeah, so I would go with Tombstone for myself.
Oh my God, yes.
Pepperoni and cheese, Popper, or the movie?
What do you want on your tombstone?
It's an old Tombstone pizza commercial.
That was like my pizza growing up. That's what mom and dad would pop in the oven. It's a Tombstone. You know, and my son, he just gets this like craft pizza. You know, we go out to like these nice restaurants and it's like fine Neapolitan, you know, style pizzas. And like, son, you need some Tombstone, man. Keep you grounded a little bit.
My son found out about stuffed crust pizza recently, and it's like, if it's not stuffed crust, like, forget it. It's either got to be stuffed crust pizza, or if we're going out, it's got to be the white pizza with like the mozzarella on top. I mean,
yeah.
You know what blows me away? Bring up Tombstone. Is it came out? Do you remember this? So Tombstone the movie, which is spectacular. Another studio released Wyatt Earp at the same. And the same thing happened with the Volcano movies. Dante's Peak came out the same time as Volcano.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's wrong with you guys? I mean, it's just like,
Well, they
I don't
did
know
the
if it's
same thing with they had 1492 and they had Conquest came out like the same time too. They were Columbus movies.
I feel like we talked about this in one of our shows. But yeah, that
I got to see if it's like the same studios like having a feud with each other, and that's why they did it, or like what the reasoning behind that was.
yeah.
But obviously, I mean, typically one is, I don't think I've ever heard anybody say they like Wyatt Earp more than Tombstone.
Yeah.
And I think some people like Volcano. I think there's more of a debate there, but I personally like Dante's Peak better. But
Because Dante's Peak was Pierce Brosnan, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, Linda Hamilton and Pierce Brosnan. Yeah, it's a good flick.
And my wife would throw Guardians of the Galaxy on there. She it's that only genre of movie that she'll watch because of the soundtrack.
That's another award that I want to bring on DCP. I want to do like a filmmaker score award.
Yeah.
Have some composers, compete on an award. I mean, because we know there's some great musicians out there that are trying to get their content, pushed out to filmmakers and have some of their content captured in some movies, and so I want to see that award here soon. So hopefully we'll make it happen.
No John Williams and no Danny Elfman allowed.
I would love to have them support an award on the platform. I'm telling you, I'm thinking that would gain some attention. That would be so cool. Yeah. But as far as competing, come on.
Yeah. Slow down, guys.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. You got anything else to leave us with? We've taken a lot of your time up. I see here.
No, this was fun, guys. For folks that are first discovering DCP, come check us out. It's free to create an account, decentralized.pictures. Just jump on our Discord channel. Start asking questions. And that's what I love most probably about our platform is you don't have to be a filmmaker. You could and I think just about everybody likes movies. I don't think I've ever met anybody that's like, you know what, I hate movies. I don't think that if they do, I don't know if I want to be friends with them. Something's not right with that person. But you can and I think a lot of people just like movies, and you can just kind of create your own like little Rotten Tomatoes kind of space for yourself and go out there and start reviewing films and, giving it a thumbs up, thumbs down, and, telling us what you liked, what you didn't care for. And we do ask make it constructive feedback, of course, because there's a lot of new filmmakers that are just getting their feet wet in the industry. So, and we do have a moderator function on the platform just to keep it clean, make sure everybody's complying with the ethics rules and everything. But yeah, for the most part, everybody's great on there, and they want to, just join a community and help bounce ideas off of each other. So we welcome anyone and everyone to jump on and start participating on the platform.
And who knows, you might meet the next Siskel and Ebert.
You never know.
Well, a lot of people don't even know that reference, Popper. And then
nobody knows 90% of your references.
I know. But real quick though, do they still have the thing on the DCP where you get credit for referring people to join?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's still a referral link on the website. So, and that goes, forever. If you submit that link to somebody and then they use it, then you get the referral link bonus, and then the person who signed up gets the bonus as well.
Okay.
And like I said, that can typically pay for so if they are a filmmaker, just by using that referral link and signing up, you've essentially paid for your submission fee. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I swear I'm going to shut up now. And Matt, thanks for coming in. Really appreciate this.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for having me on the show, guys.
Thank you very much. Have a great night.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye.
You have been listening to the Pops and Mags Pinecast. Music provided by Sushi Cat. Like what you hear? Send that cat a very nicely worded compliment on Twitter @JustAddSpam. Pops and Mags is a Scumbag Hat production
in association with Pam's Day Spa.